I've always believed that the government has a significant influence on what we see on TV and in the news. While I still think that's the case, it appears that some news hosts are struggling to conceal their frustration with the current Labour government. In today's video, we'll showcase a particularly fed-up news host who goes off on Keir Starmer and Labour during a live segment. Trust me, you won't want to miss this scathing rant. Especially as it is from Sky News. We'll dive into the details of what was said and discuss its impact. Plus, we'll cover all the latest news stories from across the country. But first, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Join our fast-growing community as we explore these pressing issues together. So yeah, surprising as Sky News have branded the Labour government and Keir Starmer as liars, which is super crazy. Watch this and what was said on live TV.
Budget in terms of tax and spend is £74 billion in spending by the end of this Parliament, £41 billion in tax rises. I have done a number of budgets, and this scorecard in terms, I have never seen anything like it, and I've done this for 15 years. It's the biggest budget I have ever covered. It is incredibly definitive in terms of a kind of very Labour budget of big tax and big spend. But I think the issue here is while Rachel Reeves talked there about choices, Rishi Sunak gave the counter-argument, which I think will now be chewed over ferociously, actually, which is this was not laid out in the manifesto. This is not what the Labour government implied. When I asked the Prime Minister at our leaders' debate in Grimsby, are there any tax rises beyond this? He said there are no plans to raise taxes, and now look where they are.
This interview follows on from her interview with Rachel Reeves, where she went in on the Chancellor for lying. Here's a taste of what was said.
On the 5th of July, I didn't think that any government would be so reckless to have £22 billion of unfunded
You've lifted taxes by
commitments.
£40 billion.
I absolutely recognise that. In our manifesto, we had commitments of £8.5 billion. In addition, as I said, there's a £22 billion black hole which recurs every
Chancellor,
year.
even if you accept the £22 billion black hole, £8 billion of that is because you decided to settle public sector pay disputes. Are you telling me, seriously, that you did not have an inkling before the general election that you might have to find billions of pounds to settle those pay disputes? And why didn't you level with the British public about that?
The previous government set the remit for the pay review bodies, the independent pay review bodies, and astonishingly, and we did not know this, and you did not know this either, they hadn't set an affordability criteria for the pay review bodies. Two of the pay review bodies, on defence and education.
What do you make of this journalist? And are you surprised Sky News are bashing the government? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. In some other news, a 62-year-old shopper has been spared jail after damaging dozens of parked cars in a pair of vandalistic rampages. Kevin Myers, from Warrington in Cheshire, had scratched the vehicles with pieces of glass on 2 occasions, February 12th and 18th this year. As he left Warrington Magistrates Court, Myers gloated to staff, saying, "Merry Christmas. I won't be seeing you again." The damaged cars included high-end models such as a Jaguar XF, an Audi Q5, a 2023 MG4 Trophy, and a brand-new Renault Clio Esprit. The total cost of the damage remains unknown. The spate of vehicle attacks followed an earlier confrontation with a shopkeeper. Just 3 weeks prior, Myers had a heated argument with Waqar Qayyum, a store owner who asked him to leave for shouting and scaring customers. Myers subsequently damaged a door handle on Qayyum's BMW parked outside. In March, Myers was jailed for 3 weeks for damaging 3 of the cars, 2 Nissan Qashqais and a VW Polo. This week, he appeared before magistrates for the remaining 20 vehicles. Prosecutor Robert Earl said, "He was basically going around and damaging those vehicles by scraping them with some sort of instrument, again for no reason we can ascertain, apart from wanting to cause damage." Myers was sentenced to 12 weeks in prison, suspended for 6 months, and ordered to pay £154 compensation to Qayyum after pleading guilty to criminal damage. Earl said, "He has offended so often, offended against so many different people, 20 victims, who have had their cars damaged, putting the victims through the inconvenience of fixing them, and he just carries on offending. Myers had previous convictions from 2017 for breaching an exclusion order and possession of a bladed article. The prosecutor described Myers's actions as a rampage, adding, "It is incomprehensible to me, but it is not my job to comprehend." Myers's solicitor, Mark Lever, explained that his client had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but was now effectively medicated with no further issues. Lever added, "He is generally very anxious and very nervous, and there was a small period where things went completely wrong for him." Magistrate Andrew Brothers admonished Myers, saying, "This is not an acceptable way to go about your ways, is it?" Lastly, Prince William has revealed how he hopes to end homelessness, admitting that he wasn't able to before. The Prince of Wales's two-part documentary, titled Prince William, We Can End Homelessness, aired on Wednesday and Thursday. During the second episode of the documentary, the Royal 42 revealed his personal plan to end homelessness. The voiceover in the documentary said, after King Charles came to the throne, Prince William inherited the roles of both Prince of Wales and Duke of Cornwall, along with ownership of the Duchy of Cornwall, one of the largest private estates in England. In the spring of 2023, he announced that the Duchy would be donating the land for a new supported housing project in Nansleddon for local people experiencing homelessness. Prince William explained, "So the reason why the Duchy is involved in Homewards is because I now have the ability, which I didn't have before, to push through things and issues that I care about." Murphy said, "This is a bird's-eye view, 2 4-bed houses. But actually most of these will be single-bed apartments. And so that's just the front elevation. So rough cast render, Cornish slate roofs. They're just very much in keeping with Nansleddon. The thresholds for the front doors were quite important, actually quite symbolic, because perhaps in the past they've had experiences of rough sleeping. But actually now this is a welcoming point. It feels like a new chapter in your life. At some point, you've got to put your hand in your pocket and say, right, we're going to build a whole project around this, and we're going to do something that's going to make a difference to people." Prince William and Ben Murphy, the estate director of the Duchy of Cornwall, explained how they are building a series of homes to help eradicate homelessness. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British political content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.